Hello, brave awakened ones. This is Veronica, Lady V of Higher Realm Holistics. Thank you, supporters, subscribers. Special thank you to my Patreons, everyone leaving lovely comments. Thank you so much, guys. You know, you uplift me too, big time. Okay. I'm in my car. I'm at the hospital with my sister. She's getting her chemo treatment. And I just had to walk out. I have my oldest niece with me too, the 18-year-old, and I said, go be with your mother because I need time to breathe because I'm about to explode. Okay. You guys know I have a medical background, and so does my sister. She has been a nurse since she was 23 years old. So she's been a nurse for 30 years, 33, 40, yeah, 30 years. Wow. Ooh. Since she was 23, now she's 53. It's my older sister. So she has breast cancer, and I do have her on a regimen, and she says she's been taking it, but come to find out from the kids, she's not doing it every day. She's forgetting, blah, blah, blah. But even so, it's seriously helping her because she's on some aggressive chemo, which by treatment too, you know, most people have no hair, and have neuropathy, and all these other issues, which her hair is starting to fall out. Her eyelashes have turned white, and her eyebrows and her nail beds are starting to turn black, which is another side effect. But she's not having the neuropathy or those other physical issues, and her labs are good. But the reason for this video is just to, honestly, I'm there, and I have not been in a huge chemo suite because there's like 40 to 50 seats in this one chemo suite in the hospital, and they have several chemo suites, okay? So this is just the one chemo suite. And even though I was a director for a pharmaceutical company that made chemotherapy and other IVs, I was the East Coast, Southern East Coast director. That was 8 years ago, and I quit because of all the shit they were doing. Especially with the children's meds. You guys would be surprised. Ooh. And I took half the staff with me when I left. It was still very disheartening and daunting to see that because I've never been in a big chemo suite before. And to see how sick and the people are. Now, that's not a big deal because I've been a nurse for 16 years. So I've seen people at their worst health-wise, but to sit there and to see the big counter of food, about 5 feet long, you know, around the nurse's station, with coffee, extra strong, medium, light, and they have teas, and then they have huge basket of candy, cheap candy, you know, the penny type candy. Then they have big baskets of all your different types of nasty GMO chips. And they have a basket filled with cookies and a refrigerator filled with some canned juices and lots of soda. Diet soda, Coke Zero. And I'm just sitting there wanting to put my head through a mother effing wall. I'm just like, really? People are sitting here for cancer treatment, getting chemotherapy on death's door, and they're giving them Coke Zero. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. They're giving them Doritos and Cheetos and sugary muffins with lots and lots of disgusting frosting on it. This is what they're giving cancer patients too. But then in talking to the staff, talking to the nurses, and even the doctors, they don't know. They're as ignorant as the patients. They're flat out as ignorant as the patients. And it is the pharmaceutical companies making way. They're just thinking, oh, we're offering all this wonderful stuff for our patients and our families so they could be comfortable. I'm like, you're killing your patients. You're making sure they're not getting better. And you're trying to get their family to come in here and be cancer patients too, which I said to my sister. She's like, shh, just be quiet. So my sister gets her meds, and I'm looking at the chemo bag, the IV bag, and I'm just like, why are you here every week when this chemo is supposed to be every 2 to 3 weeks? And your cancer is really small, because I already shrunk it half. And she's like, listen, I'm just doing whatever the doctor says. I'm like, do you know your dosage? I don't know. Whatever the doctor said it is. I don't know. I said, you mean the doctor getting like a grand every time you walk in here? That doctor? Really? That one? Listen, I've known many people who are treated and they're doing so much better. And I said, yeah. And how long before they're back here again? 5 years? 10 years? When it's metastasized everywhere? Where it's in their bone? Or when they have leukemia? Which one is it? Listen, don't give me a hard time. I'm just doing whatever the doctor tells me, okay? Just do what the doctor tells you because they know best. Now, I'm like, I had to get up at that point and I said, as a professional woman, I cannot believe this is coming out of your mouth. It's like full indoctrination. Full indoctrination. I was just like, I have to get a breather. Since they only allow one person at a time in there, I just went out. I saw my niece. I said, go sit with your mother because my head's about to explode and I just have to go sit in my car for a minute. She's like, why? What happened? And I told her. I was like, she doesn't even know how many treatments she's up to, how many more she has to do. She doesn't know her dosage. She just says, the doctor says it's low. The doctors told me, I'll do fine. The doctor said this. The doctor said that. I said, she has absolutely no idea. She's put her entire being, life, well-being in the hands of this person who's making thousands and thousands of dollars off of her being sick. And even if the doctor, I met one of the doctors, she seems nice enough, but in her talking, she's as fucking ignorant as the rest of them. Ignorant as the nurses, ignorant as the patients. But it's like she's ignorant with a degree in her hand. So that makes her be able to peddle the lies even more. And I'm just like, wow. And also, while I was talking to her and my niece, I had thought I talked her out of giving my niece the Depo-Provera, but she still gave her, after the one shot, she still gave her 2 more shots. Now, we need to talk about medications here, okay? They've been giving this Depo thing over in Australia. You're Australian New Zealanders, you know they've been doing it for a while to those kids before they even did it to the American kids, and then requiring it starting in 3rd freaking grade. Of course, get them before they start puberty and sterilize them, which is what's coming up now. These kids aren't getting their periods. The boys aren't going through puberty. The girls aren't going through puberty. They're sterilizing the kids. That's why they want to get them in the 3rd grade. Straight up. Never mind all the horrible side effects with Depo. Okay? So she did that. Thank God it was only one of the kids that ended up getting it. And also, I had a cousin who, thank God she listened to me, because her 7-year-old, at the time her daughter was only 7. And, no, I'm sorry, she was 9, not 7. She was 9. At the time she was 9. And my cousin was very concerned because she seemed to be growing at a very fast rate. Never mind the fact that her husband is 6'4". Gee, that could be it, why your daughter's so tall. Also, she was getting some pubic hair and underarm hair and little buds, boobies. So the pediatrician told her it was pernicious puberty. Puberty, starting puberty too early. And that she was going to give her Lupron, several rounds of Lupron, to stop the puberty. So she immediately, you got to get it right now. Never mind the kickback for Lupron is $3.50 a shot. It's $2.50 to $3.50 a shot, depending on how much you give, okay? I know that for a fact. So, for the doctor, that is. So she immediately gives the girls the Lupron, okay? Which, by the way, Lupron is chemotherapy used for men with prostate cancer. And they also give women with severe endometriosis Lupron also to stop your period. Which, unfortunately, I was a victim of, the Lupron. And it put me on disability for 6 months. I had a nice bald spot. My hair fell out. I blew up 60 pounds within 1 month. I kid you not. Because it was all edema. It was edematous because I couldn't eat. I was throwing up like a cancer patient. I looked like a cancer patient. My eyebrows fell off. My eyelashes fell off. Had 10% bone mass, and I had to use a cane to get around. That is what I had to deal with Lupron, because they said, oh yeah, this is going to help you, blah, blah, blah. And my sister worked for the doctor, and I was young. I was in my 20s, and I listened. This is before I became a nurse. I listened, and it nearly killed me. Nearly killed me, the Lupron. So, but I fixed myself, as you could see. I fixed myself really good with everything natural, everything holistic. I fixed myself up really good. So with the Lupron, so they gave my cousin's kid the Lupron shot, and that day she came to me to pick up a Christmas gift my uncle had left for her from my home in Miami. We both live in Miami, and she told me about it, and I was like, oh my God, do you know what you're giving your child? And I told her the whole thing about Lupron, and she was like, oh my God, oh my God. I said, yeah, they're sterilizing her. That's what they're doing with the Lupron. They're sterilizing your child. So she stopped, and I said, you know, I've seen what's in your fridge. Everything is filled with hormones. Yeah, but I know you told me you don't do milk, so I switched to soy. I'm like, yeah, estrogen. No, even if it's organic, stuffed with estrogen. I'm like, go to coconut milk. You know, almond milk is garbage. Go to coconut milk if you want, or better yet, the pea milk, which she did switch. And I said, when it comes to your chicken and meat, only the organic, no hormones, free range stuff, the eggs, all of that. I said, you must change her diet. So fast forward a year later, everything stopped. Even the hair that she had in her underarms and pubic area fell off. Boobs didn't grow. And she's been fine. She's been absolutely normal. She didn't take another Lupron shot. Everything has been fine. She went to see the pediatrician a week ago, and I just saw my cousin and her husband. And she said, yeah, she's still trying to push the Lupron, even though her hormone levels are back down to normal. Everything's normal. She's never got her period still, thank goodness. She's 10. Didn't get her period. Everything's normal. All the hairs fell off. Even her breast went down. She's like almost completely flat now again. She goes, man, if I would have not listened to you, I can't even imagine what my daughter would be looking like right now. I'm like, yeah. Because a friend of hers daughter was going through the same thing, and they did not change her diet. They continued, and the girl is losing her hair. She's going through all the side effects of chemo. And I was like, yeah. Welcome to allopathic modern day medicine. That's what it's all about. It's about kickbacks. It's about money. It's about making billions and billions of dollars for pharmacy and millions of dollars for the doctors. Keeping these hospitals with the revolving doors going. Okay? And even people who are in the field, like my sister. My cousin too, by the way. She's also in hers. They're indoctrinated. But my cousin, she listens to me. She trusts me and she listens to me. Thank God. That's why she calls me. Listen, they want to give my daughter this. What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. Okay, bye. Thanks, cuz. That's the end of it. She doesn't even ask me why anymore. She's like, okay, I believe you. Thank you. Bye. But my sister seems to be fully indoctrinated. But at least she's doing some of the regimen I put together for her. Not all of it, so I found out. Which is probably why she's getting these open, oozing sores around her body from the chemo. Yo, guys, this is a trip. But like I said in my last video, you can't take that from them. It's their lesson to learn. You could only do what you do. And it's like, I want to be supportive, but I can't support the stupidity. I can't back up the ignorance. You know, putting everything in your doctor's hands. Well, the doctor knows. It's like, but it's your body. It's the way society teaches people to not be responsible for themselves. And it goes as far as how the government is structured, right? Victim mentality, entitlement. Everything's about entitlement. victim mentality and, let the government handle it. You're not responsible. Let the government handle it. Yes, I want free this and free this and free that and free that. Meanwhile, they're bleeding you dry and sucking the life out of you. Right? Just same thing in allopathic medicine, right? The doctor knows. My nurse told me this, my favorite, when I walk into a room and you have a freaking diabetic who's in there for diabetic ketoacidosis and they have a blood sugar of 600. I've seen it over 1,000. And they're sitting there with a diet soda in their hand. Yeah, but my nurse is the one who gave it to me. My nurse said it was fine. Okay. Then keep drinking and you will never get out of here. That's fine. You keep drinking. Or I try to tell them, those who are willing to seem like they want to bend, the younger patients are more apt to listening. So I will say, you know what? Do me a favor. Don't have a soda for the rest of the day and see how your blood sugar does, even if it's a diet soda. And they'll be shocked. They'll be like, oh my God, my blood sugar normalized. It's okay. I said, okay, if you want to drink the soda, go right ahead. Some of them do. Then they'll be like, my blood sugar shot up. I thought it wasn't going to do that. It's diet soda. I'm like, yeah, you're giving yourself pancreatic cancer, by the way. Yeah, with your diet soda. Because those artificial sweeteners, they kill pancreatic cells. But the doctor didn't say that to me. The nurse didn't even say that to me. I was like, because number one, they probably don't even know. Or number two, they're as ignorant as you are. It's usually they're just as ignorant as the patient is. Seriously, it really is that. I didn't sense any malice from the doctor. It's like she says, oh, this is what I give all these patients who have this type of cancer. And it's like, they're taught that way. They're indoctrinated in medical school. They don't look at diet at all. Like my cousin said, I said, did you bring up to the doctor about the diet, how you managed to? Because she was like shocked with the girl. She was like, how did you get it to stop? What did you do? Blah, blah, blah. She thought she went to another doctor. Actually, she's like, oh, who'd you go to get this stuff? And she said, no, my cousin, she does holistic health. And, she's the one who cleaned out my refrigerator and told me, what to feed. So now not only am I doing it, I'm doing it for my kid also, both my children. She has a baby too. And she's like, oh, the doctor did not believe that's all it took. She didn't believe her. She still wanted her to take, well, I doubt that's what caused it to go into regression. I doubt that's what stopped it. And the cousin's like, well, it did. Doctor did not want to believe her. Why? Because in medical school, allopathic medical school, that is not what they teach you. They teach you, here's the drug. Here's what the drug usually what works, whatever, the dosage, blah, blah, and that's it. Lucky for me, the nursing school I went to in New York, believe it or not, and it has a crazy waiting list. And not that many students. It's like 165 students per cycle. And when I graduated, only 63 students graduated. It's an accelerated intense program. And the minute you say I come from that school, it's like, well, doors fling open. I was a new grad and I was getting paid as the nurses that's been a nurse for 2 years. And places that didn't hire new grads hired me, especially in pediatrics. In New York, it's always 2 years on the floor working with adults before you can move into peds. And I went straight into peds, special needs nursery, okay, because of the school I went to. Not only that, my grades, and I was nurse of the year too for Nassau County in New York. But yeah, that's the deal. At least the school I went to, they really guided us towards and emphasize integrative health, which is why I wanted to go to that school in the first place. They really focused on integrative health. They really focused on, instead of giving the patient, filling them with pain medicine every 2 hours, giving them, morphine, use other methods. to distract them from the pain, help them relax. They were very big on that, huge on that. And they were huge on diet. And that's where I learned about artificial sweeteners and how it attacks your pancreas. I learned all that stuff from that school. So I'm very, very grateful for my nursing schools. I don't even know if the school's still around, to be honest with you. I was very fortunate in that manner. But growing up, my mom, who's also a nurse, she was very into, coming from a Caribbean family, you don't get medicine that often and stuff. Everything is usually, holistic and natural. But my mom, as you guys know, last year I found her and she had a huge cancerous tumor in her colon. And she had to be arrested for emergency medicine. I was fortunate enough that the surgical team actually listened to me on what anesthesia to give her, what procedure I wanted. They did it to the T, which shocked me. And my mother has been fine since the GI doctor wanted her to come for chemo. And my mother's like, oh, hell no, I'm not going for chemo. No, this woman's in her 80s. And she's like, could you imagine? No, she's been absolutely 100% fine. 2 weeks after her surgery, she was out on the road again, traveling all over the world. So she said no to chemo. She never had a flu shot. My sister, unfortunately, gets flu shots too. She got a flu shot, and I was just like, what? She just said it. And I was just like, oh my God. I thought my head was going to explode. I said, you got a flu shot? Why would you get a flu shot? And, she believes in all the new vaccinations, the amping up of all the crazy vamps. I'm like, when we were kids, what little vaccinations we had? And all these, she goes, well, if they introduce a new one, whatever they introduce, the doctors know better. And that's what I'm giving. I'm giving whatever they tell me to give my kids. Like, okay, and you're going to kill their immune system. They'll never have natural immunity to anything. I never got the chickenpox shot. I'm naturally immune to chickenpox. I'm naturally immune to a lot of things. And it's so funny because, when they look at my titers, they look at my immunization record, I should say, they're like, it says you didn't get the immunization, but how do you have the immunity? I just do. Okay. I just had to rant on that. I had to rant. Now, when it comes to allopathic medicine, when I agree with integrative health, it has to do with emergency medicine and rescue medicine. Okay? I believe in you stabilize, you do what you have to, use all the methods to stabilize the patient. And then once they're stabilized, that is when the holistic and natural could take over. But even while you're stabilizing, you're introducing the holistic and natural. It's not just all allopathic, even if it's emergency medicine. Okay? Because I've seen babies having horrible seizures. And the hospital I worked in New York, the first children's hospital I worked in, and a lot of the children's hospital in New York have this, and they're introducing it here in Miami too. What I notice is that it's getting hot in here. What I notice is that they do have a designated Reiki master, especially for the babies, because you can't pump babies filled with freaking morphine, and a lot of these babies, the infants, the seizure meds don't work. So they have the Reiki nurse. I'll never forget, that's how I got introduced to Reiki. They had a Reiki nurse on staff. She had an office and everything in New York City. And she would go to the nursery where they had the seizure babies, as we call them, the ones who stay in status epilepticus. And she would do Reiki on them, and it would just knock them out. Just knock them out cold. The seizures would stop, and it would last a few hours. And she had, you give the medicine Q4 or Q2, that's every 4 or every 2 hours, whatever. She would come, on the schedule, every 4 or every 6 hours, and do the Reiki on the baby. And that's actually what helped my son. My son almost died when he was 17 months old. They gave him every seizure medicine they could find, and he stayed in status epilepticus. That means it's like a seizure coma. You're in nonstop seizure. They wanted to vent him, trach him, stick him in a unit, the long-term unit in the hospital. I'm like, no, that's not how God gave me my baby, and he's not going to stay like that. I said, absolutely not. I refused. And I had the leader of my meditation group come, And we would both, I wasn't a Reiki master. I was in my 20s, and I would just do what she told me to do. She was a Reiki master. It's like, just do it. And it would calm him down. And the last day when I said, no, I'm not doing that to my son, she was there. She tried. The seizure still didn't stop. They were going to like quadruple his medication. Never mind the fact it's not working because he's an infant. And she was leaving out saying goodbye. And then I turned around and I just felt like this energy. It really felt like the Holy Spirit was coming on top of me. And I was just like, what is? I never felt it before. And I was just guided to put my hands on my son. And I literally like saw that spirit coming from me, through me, and onto my son and into my son. And then all of a sudden, poof, the seizure stopped. I was like, whoa, it stopped. And I turned around to get Paula. Yeah. And I was like, Paula, it stopped. And as I was talking to her, my hand was on her shoulder. The doctors were right there. The whole team was in the room. My son sat up out of the blue and said, Mommy, no Teletubbies. Because the Teletubbies was the last thing he was watching on TV before he went into status epilepticus at home. And then everyone just dropped and we're just like, and the doctor was like, holy shit. He screamed that. And then all of them came rushing into the room and checking my son. He was just like, oh, like, what is going on? Like, it's like nothing happened. Literally. So it really worked. And I want to make a note of this because this is an error a lot of healers do. You're not taking your energy to heal anybody. Okay? It is not your energy. You serve as a divine conduit, meaning you're attracting that universal divine energy and it's coming through you into that person that you're trying to help. Through you. You're not taking it. It's not of your own. Okay? Because that is how you deplete yourself. That is how you end up becoming sick. It works through you. And what is your energy compared to God's energy? Seriously. What is the little energy left in you compared to God's energy? It's coming through you and coming out of you. Through you. You're a channel. You're a conduit for that healing energy. Okay? It goes through you into the person. You're not taking your own santé, as they say in French. You're not taking your own well-being, your own essence to do it. That is the wrong way. I'm saying it wrong way to heal somebody, help somebody heal. Wrong way. Okay? Just anyone who feels they need to lay hands and stuff, just know, okay, God, I'm here. I am a channel for your healing energy. I'm a conduit. I'm a vessel. Even whether you're taking the energy up from the earth or from the heavens, from source, it's all the same thing. You're a vessel and a conduit. You're not taking your own energy to heal. All right? Now I'm going to owe my sister a big fat apology for my behavior because I don't want to make her feel worse. But, it's like you want to freaking pimp smack them. Backhand with some rings on it. Smack them. Because it's just like, huh? It's just like, oh, here. Because that person's going to value your life more than you value your own life? Is that what you think? They're going to care for you more than you care for yourself? Oh, I'm putting everything on the doctor. Yeah, I didn't know she was like that. I really didn't. I'm in shock right now. I had no idea she was like that. To not even look at the drugs. My daughter has more sense, and we all know how I feel about my daughter's sense. She has more sense and doesn't say she does stuff like that. But yeah, it really threw me that she was like, yeah, but it's the doctor. I don't know. The doctor told me. I don't know. I'm like, did you look up your drugs? Do you know the side effects? Well, it's whatever the doctor said this. The doctor said. As light workers, because that's who the majority of my audience is, light workers. Yeah, we when we come across this, we have to show patience to these people, tolerance, and it doesn't mean agree with them at all. Try to educate them and take it as far as you think they could handle it. That is what we have to do. And yeah, but you know, they're all going to get rude awakenings come 2020. They'll see the truth of all these freaking shots, these vaccinations, these chemos, these meds. I mean, God knows, look what came out with all those opioids, right? Where as a nurse, I heard nonstop, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't do anything, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. No, it's not addictive, it's not addictive. And I'm like, yes, it is. From what? Yes, it fucking is. Now it's showing how addictive it is, right? All right, thank you for listening to my rant. I hope I made some sense to people. And if you're interested in sessions or in webinars or higher realm magic, spells and conjurings and stuff like that, or in my book or in merch, go to higherrealmholistics.com. Okay, and later on I will put out what because there's one of two webinars I want to do, and I'm going to really look into it to see which one I want to put out first, do first with you guys. Okay, and don't forget, Patreon's next Saturday is my live one-on-one, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, Lady V out. Peace. Thank you guys. We got the victory. Bye.